She turned my life into her stage. I stole the script, cast her soulmate as my lead, and closed the curtain on her act. There's a specific sound a crystal glass makes when it falls on a marble floor. A sharp, almost musical shatter that cuts through conversations and laughter and turns all eyes to the source. Scarlett knew exactly how to make that glass fall. She knew the exact angle, the perfect moment, how to make it look like an accident while ensuring maximum attention. I was 7 when I learned that my sister didn't just love the spotlight, she demanded it. And if she didn't have it naturally, she created ways to steal it. My high school graduation in 2015. I was the valedictorian. I had worked 4 years for that moment. I was on stage, microphone in hand, looking out at the packed auditorium in Portland, Oregon, when I heard it. A scream. Sharp. Terrified. Scarlett. Of course, it was Scarlett. She was standing in the middle of the bleachers, hands on her chest, face pale. "I can't breathe," she gasped, her voice projected perfectly so everyone could hear. Someone, help me." And just like that, my moment, my speech that I had written and rewritten for weeks, turned into yet another act in Scarlett's show. Ambulance called, ceremony paused, everyone rushing to help poor Scarlett, while I stood on stage, microphone still in hand, invisible. At the hospital, the doctor said, "Panic attack. She's fine now." "Why did you do that?" I asked her later when we were alone. Scarlett blinked, all innocence. "Do what? Harper, I had a panic attack. It wasn't on purpose." But I had seen. For a split second before the attack, I had seen her check how many people were looking. I had seen the calculation in her eyes. Performative narcissists don't just steal your moments, they turn them into a stage for their own drama. And somehow, you always end up being the villain for wanting a single spotlight that isn't theirs. The smell of roses always reminds me of that day. My mom had brought roses for my graduation, my favorite flower, but they were forgotten at the hospital while everyone attended to Scarlett. When we finally got home, the roses were wilted, brown at the edges, dead. Like my moment. Scarlett wasn't evil in the traditional sense. She was empty, like beautiful theater with nothing happening inside. So she filled that void with constant performance. Every emotion exaggerated, every crisis perfectly timed, all to keep eyes on her. And it worked. My mother was her most dedicated audience. "Scarlett is so sensitive," she would say, as if sensitivity justified turning every family moment into drama. "She feels things more deeply." My father was more skeptical. I saw it in his eyes. He knew. But he never said anything. Easier to let Scarlett have her show than to face the truth that his eldest daughter was a performative narcissist. College was my escape. Columbia University in New York, far from Portland, far from the constant theater. For 4 years, I lived without being a supporting character, without every achievement being turned into a Scarlett crisis. But then I met Daniel. Daniel Foster, architect, kind, quietly funny. We met at a coffee shop in the West Village, fell in love slowly, built something solid and real. When we got engaged after 2 years together, I was happy, genuinely, quietly happy. Until Scarlett met him. It was at Christmas dinner in 2022 at my parents' house. The whole family gathered, snow falling outside, the smell of roasting turkey and cinnamon. It should have been perfect. Scarlett arrived late. She always arrived late. Entrances are more dramatic. She was stunning in a red dress, hair in perfect waves. "Harper," she hugged me, all performance, "and you must be Daniel. I've heard so much about you." Daniel was polite, warm. He talked to her about architecture when she asked about his work. He was kind when she mentioned going through a difficult time. I should have seen it, should have recognized the signs. 2 weeks later, Scarlett called me, crying, always crying. "Harper, I need to tell you something, and it's going to hurt you." "But it would be wrong to hide." My stomach sank. What? It's about Daniel. Her voice broke perfectly. Harper, I think I'm in love with him. Performative manipulators always wrap their stabs in honesty. I'm just being honest, as if honesty about selfishness makes it noble. You met him once, for 3 hours. Sometimes that's all you need, she sobbed. That instant connection, that soul recognition. Harper, I didn't want this, but I can't deny my feelings. Scarlett, I know he's your fiancé, she interrupted me. I know it's terrible, but Harper, it would be more terrible to lie, wouldn't it? To hide my feelings? Would you prefer I pretended? And just like that, somehow, I was the bad guy for not wanting my sister to share her feelings about being in love with my fiancé. In the following days, Scarlett launched a campaign. Vague Instagram posts about impossible love, messages to Daniel about not being able to control her heart, tearful calls to my mom about being destroyed for loving her sister's man. And Daniel started to pull away. Not because he wanted Scarlett, but because he didn't want the drama. Harper, I love you, he said when he broke up with me, a month before the wedding. But your family is too much. I can't live being part of whatever performance your sister is staging. He was right, but knowing didn't make it any less devastating. Scarlett tried to date Daniel afterward. 2 dates where she realized that without an audience, he was just a normal man not interested in her. She broke up saying the connection was too intense to work right now. But the damage was done. My engagement destroyed. My relationship turned into another act in Scarlett's show. It was Maya who planted the seed. You realize she does this on purpose, right? Maya said, 6 months after Daniel, as we drank wine in her Lower East Side apartment. Every time you have something good, Scarlett creates drama to destroy it. I know, I admitted, but what do I do? She's my sister. Then give her a taste of her own medicine, Maya said. Scarlett turns your life into theater, turn hers. Steal the script, rewrite the ending. How? Find what she truly wants and show her she can never have it, not out of malice, but to expose the performance. I didn't know then, but Maya had planted more than a seed. She had planted a revolution. 3 months later, I met Ethan Crawford at a networking event in Manhattan, and I realized he was exactly what Maya had described. The only man Scarlett genuinely wanted, the only one who had always rejected her, the only role she never managed to play. And for the first time in my life, I decided to be the protagonist of my own story. Ethan was near the coffee table at the event, clearly uncomfortable in a suit and tie, fiddling with his phone as if it were a lifeline. First time at one of these? I asked, approaching. He looked up, grateful. Is it that obvious? You have that I'd rather be literally anywhere else look. I smiled. Me too. But at least the coffee is free. Ethan Crawford, he extended his hand. Harper Mitchell. The name didn't register for me immediately, but for him, I saw recognition pass through his eyes. Mitchell? You don't have a sister named Scarlett? My stomach sank. You know her. Unfortunately, he ran a hand through his hair. Sorry, that was rude. But your sister, she's been persistent for years. We talked for an hour. He told me everything, how Scarlett had decided in her sophomore year of college in Seattle that they were destined soulmates after a 15-minute conversation at a party, how she would show up wherever he was, how she would send messages about cosmic connection, how he had blocked her on everything 2 years ago, but she still found ways to appear. I moved from Seattle to New York partially because of her, Ethan admitted. I thought distance would help, and it did, until she found out I had moved. How did she find out? I don't know, he shook his head. But 3 months after I moved, she posted a photo in front of my building. And there it was, Scarlett hadn't just turned my life into a stage. She had done it to others too. Ethan was her long-standing obsession, the only man who never fell for the performance. I should have warned you sooner, I said, about her, but honestly, I didn't even know you existed until now. She never mentioned having a sister? Ethan seemed surprised. Scarlett rarely mentions anyone other than herself, I replied dryly. He laughed. Fair enough. Look, I don't want this to be awkward. You seem nice, but given the history with your sister… I understand, I said quickly. Totally understand. But Ethan, for the record, I am not my sister. I don't turn people's lives into drama. I just exist, quietly, boringly. Boring sounds incredible right now, he smiled, after years of Scarlett's drama. We exchanged numbers. Not romantically, at least not consciously. But there was a connection, an understanding of two survivors of Hurricane Scarlett. We started seeing each other. Coffee, dinners, long walks across the Brooklyn Bridge. And slowly, friendship turned into something deeper. I like you, Ethan said 2 months after we met. We were in his Brooklyn apartment, cooking together, his rescued dog sleeping at our feet. A lot. But Harper, I need to know, is this real or is it about Scarlett? It's real, I answered honestly. Ethan, I didn't look for you because of her. I didn't even know about the connection when we met. But now that I know, I paused. I won't lie. Part of me wants her to know, wants her to see that not everything is about her. Is that revenge? It's justice, I corrected. Scarlett destroyed my engagement by creating a dramatic love triangle. She turned every one of my moments into her crisis. And now I have something she truly wants. Not as a performance, but genuinely. Ethan was quiet. Then, your family is going to implode when they find out. I know. I held his hand. But Ethan, if we're going to be together, they'll find out eventually. So we can control the narrative, or let Scarlett control it. How do we control it? By being so genuine that her performance seems fake in comparison, I said. Not by creating drama, just by existing, being happy, letting our reality expose her fantasy. The best way to expose a performance is not with another performance. It's with an authenticity so raw that falsehood becomes obvious in contrast. First revelation. It was Maya who uncovered the deeper truth about Scarlett. She had started investigating because Maya never trusted Scarlett. Harper, you need to see this. Maya appeared at my apartment a week later, laptop in hand. I was looking for Scarlett online, just curiosity, and I found something. She turned the laptop. It was an old blog from 2018. Title, My Life as a Failed Actress. Wait, Scarlett tried to be an actress? Read it, Maya said. I read. Post after post about failed auditions, about how Scarlett had moved to Los Angeles to make it happen, about how she never got any significant roles, about how she returned to Portland after 2 years, defeated. And then, the last post, maybe I don't need a stage. Maybe real life can be my performance, and family can be my audience. My God, I whispered. She consciously decided to turn life into theater. It's not just that. Maya clicked on another tab. Look at the dates. She came back from LA in 2018. And when was your first incident with her? When did she ruin something important for the first time? I thought, my college graduation, 2019. She had an existential crisis during my ceremony. Exactly 1 year after returning from LA, Maya said. Harper, she's not just dramatic. She's consciously using family as a substitute stage. You are her audience. The revelation hit me like a punch. It wasn't just Scarlett being Scarlett. It was a choice. Deliberate. Calculated. We need to expose this. How? I don't know yet, I admitted. But Maya, this changes everything. Because it's not about her being sensitive or emotional. It's about her using us. Consciously. If you're enjoying this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. Share in the comments if you've ever had someone turn your life into their drama. We decided not to hide. I posted a photo of Ethan and me on Instagram. Nothing dramatic, just us laughing at a coffee shop in Brooklyn. Simple caption, "Good times with even better people." Rose. The rose emoji was purposeful. My symbol. My silent reclamation of all the rose moments Scarlett had killed. Scarlett saw it in minutes. Called seconds later. "Harper, is that Ethan Crawford in your photo?" "It is," I said, calmly. "We're dating." Heavy silence. Then, "My Ethan? You're dating my Ethan?" "He was never yours, Scarlett." "We have a connection." Her voice was rising, going into performance mode. "A soul connection. How could you do this to me?" "How you did it to Daniel," I replied, my voice still calm. "Scarlett, Ethan and I met by chance. We connected genuinely. It's not a performance." "You're doing this to hurt me." She was crying now. I could perfectly imagine strategically placed tears. "You know I love him." "You love the idea of him," I corrected. "You love having something to dramatize. But Scarlett, I actually love him. It's not a show." I hung up, fingers cold but determined. Second revelation. My mom called that night. "Harper, what are you thinking? Scarlett is devastated." "Mom, Scarlett and Ethan never dated. She pursued him. He blocked her." "But she loves him. You know that." "Mom, I need to show you something." I took a deep breath. "Can you come to my apartment tomorrow? Alone?" She came. I showed her the blog. Every post. Scarlett's conscious decision to turn life into a stage. My mom read in silence, her face growing paler and paler. She decided to do this?" my mom whispered. "Consciously?" "Yes," I said gently. "Mom, Scarlett isn't just dramatic. She's using us as a substitute audience because she failed to be a real actress." "But she seems so genuine." My mom had tears in her eyes. "Every crisis, every emotion." "It's a performance," I said. "A good performance, but a performance." "Mom, think about every crisis Scarlett has had. When did they happen?" My mom thought. Slowly, I saw understanding dawning. "Always when something good happened to you." "Exactly," I confirmed. "My high school graduation, my college graduation, my promotion, my engagement. Each time, Scarlett created a crisis that stole attention." "My God," my mom covered her mouth. "How did I not see it?" "Because she's good," I said, "and because you wanted to believe. Easier to believe that Scarlett is sensitive than to admit she's manipulative." Families choose to believe comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths because truth demands action, and action requires courage that not everyone has. But I had more. I pulled out another folder. "Mom, I hired a private investigator to check other things about Scarlett." "You did what?" "Her job. That amazing job at a tech company? It doesn't exist. The company exists, but she never worked there. The luxurious apartment in Seattle? An Airbnb she rents for photos. The trips for conferences? She stays in cheap hotels and takes photos in fancy places." I spread the evidence on the table. Receipts, photos with metadata, everything documented. "How much of Scarlett's life is real?" my mom asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know," I admitted, "but much less than we thought." My mom was silent for a long moment. Then, "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to close the curtain," I said, "on her show, permanently." "How?" "Christmas is coming," I said. "Family dinner. I'm bringing Ethan. And we're going to be so genuinely ourselves that Scarlett's performance will crumble in comparison." "Harper, this will destroy her." "No," I corrected. "It will destroy the persona, the performance. But maybe, finally, the real Scarlett can emerge." My mom left quietly, thoughtful. But I had planted doubt. And doubt, in a dedicated audience, was the beginning of the end. Ethan and I planned carefully. We don't create drama. We don't respond to provocations. We just exist. We let Scarlett perform while we show what real looks like. What if she makes a scene? Then she makes one, Ethan shrugged, and everyone sees it for exactly what it is, a scene, a performance, while we are real. But I had an ace up my sleeve, something Scarlett didn't expect. I had found him, the real Ethan, not the one Scarlett fantasized about, but who he really was. And I discovered something. He had a history with Scarlett that she had never told the family. A history that, when revealed, would destroy all her credibility. I had the documents. I had the truth. And for the first time, I questioned, did doing this make me like her, using truth as a weapon? Or was there a difference between exposing lies and creating drama? You're having doubts, Ethan said, reading my face. I'm wondering if this makes me like her, I admitted. It doesn't, he said firmly. Scarlett creates drama from nothing. You are exposing drama that already exists. There's a difference. Harper, your sister needs to be stopped. And sometimes the only way to stop a manipulator is by exposing the manipulation. He was right. I knew he was. But still, on the night before Christmas, I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was doing the right thing. The dried roses from my high school graduation were still kept. I had kept them, a reminder of all the moments Scarlett had killed. Tomorrow, I would finally avenge them. My parents' house in Portland was perfectly decorated for Christmas. Twinkling lights, a huge tree in the living room, the smell of roasting turkey mixed with cinnamon and pine. The family was already gathered when Ethan and I arrived at 5 p.m. Scarlett was in the kitchen, helping my mom. She saw us through the doorway and froze. Her wine glass slipped from her fingers, falling but not breaking. It landed on the rug with a dull thud. "Ethan," she whispered, but loud enough for the entire living room to hear. You're here." "Scarlett," Ethan nodded politely, distantly. "Merry Christmas." "You brought him." Scarlett looked at me, tears already forming. "Harper, you brought Ethan, my Ethan." "He was never yours," I said calmly. "Scarlett, Ethan is my boyfriend. We've been together for 4 months." The room fell silent, everyone watching. Exactly what Scarlett always wanted, attention, but this time not on her terms. You knew," Scarlett said, her voice breaking perfectly. "You knew I loved him and went after him anyway. What kind of sister does that?" "The kind that's tired of being a supporting character in your show," I replied, my voice firm. "Scarlett, Ethan and I met organically. We fell in love genuinely. It's not a performance. It's not drama. It's real." "Real?" Scarlett laughed hysterically. "You don't know what real is. Ethan and I have a connection, a soul connection that transcends—" "You had one conversation," Ethan interrupted her, his voice calm but firm. "One. 7 years ago in college. 15 minutes. About, I don't even remember, music, movies, something trivial. And you turned that into a 7-year obsession. Third revelation, nuclear bomb." "It's not an obsession," Scarlett protested. "It's love, true love that—" "Scarlett, I have the restraining order," Ethan said quietly. The silence was absolute. "You— what?" my mom whispered. "Restraining order," Ethan repeated. "I got it 3 years ago, after Scarlett broke into my apartment in Seattle. Twice. After she threatened a woman I was dating. After she sent 47 messages in a single day, even after I blocked her on everything." He pulled a document from his pocket. Official, legal, indisputable. "This is a valid restraining order until 2025. Scarlett cannot be within 500 feet of me. Technically, she's violating it right now by being in this house." Lies crumble when confronted with legal documents, and Scarlett had built an entire empire on lies. No foundation, no substance, just stories she had told so many times that she began to believe them. "That's not true." Scarlett looked around, desperate. "He's lying. Mom, Dad, you're not going to believe him, are you?" "I can check," my father said quietly. He took the document, took a photo with his cell phone. "Excuse me." He left the room, came back 5 minutes later, his face serious. It's real. I checked with the King County Courthouse in Washington. Restraining order issued in March 2021, valid for 5 years. Scarlett turned white. Completely white. Scarlett, my mom said, her voice trembling. You broke into his apartment? You threatened someone? I didn't break in, Scarlett protested. I was worried about him, and that woman wasn't right for him. I was protecting. You were stalking, I interrupted her. Scarlett, stop. Just stop. No more performance. No more drama. Everyone knows now. Know what? She challenged. That you're a fraud, I said, and every word was liberation. That you turn real lives into cheap theater. That every crisis, every tear, every dramatic moment is calculated for attention. I pulled out my phone, showed the blog. You decided this. In 2018, when you came back from LA, you decided that if you couldn't be an actress on stage, you would be an actress in life. And we would be your audience. That's not fair, Scarlett was crying now. Real tears, for the first time, not performative. I was hurt. My dreams had been crushed. I just wanted to be seen. Then be seen being real, I yelled, years of frustration pouring out. Be seen you, not a character, not a performance, you. I don't know who I am without performance, Scarlett yelled back. I don't know how to just be a person, how to be boring and common and invisible. Then learn, I responded, because Scarlett, no one can love a performance. They can only love a real person, and you need to find out who that person is. Scarlett collapsed, literally collapsed to the floor, sobbing, but this time, no one rushed to comfort her. Everyone just watched, seeing. Harper is right, my father said. Scarlett, you need help, real help. Not therapy you pretend to do, but real treatment for whatever this is. Narcissistic personality disorder, Ethan said quietly, with histrionic tendencies. I researched it. After years of dealing with her behavior, she needs specialized treatment. I'm not crazy, Scarlett protested. No one said you are, I said gently, kneeling beside her. But you are sick, Scarlett, and illness needs treatment. Not an audience. She looked at me, really saw me for the first time in years. You hate me. No, I said honestly. I hate what you did. I hate years of being a supporting character. But you, I feel sorry for you, because you wasted an entire life performing instead of living. The curtain had closed, finally, and Scarlett was alone on the empty stage. 6 months after that Christmas, life felt different. Quiet, real, mine. Scarlett was in intensive treatment in Portland, therapy 4 times a week, a support group, medication. She had moved back home with my parents, not by choice, but by necessity. She didn't have a real job, a real apartment, a real life to go back to. I'm rebuilding, she told me on a monthly call we had started, from scratch, learning who I am without performance. How is it? I asked. Terrifying, she admitted. I don't know how to just be a person, how to exist without an audience, but I'm trying. That's all I can ask for, I said. My relationship with my parents had improved. They had started to see patterns they ignored for decades. We failed you, my father said at a dinner. We let Scarlett turn everything into a show. We made you always be the adult in the room. You did the best you could, I said. I meant it. Scarlett is intense, easy to get pulled in. But it wasn't fair to you, my mom added. Harper, we're proud of how you stood up for yourself, of how you chose reality. Ethan and I had moved in together, into an apartment in Brooklyn. Normal life. Work, homemade dinners, walks with the dog. No drama, no performance. Just real, quiet, beautiful life. Are you happy? Ethan asked one night. More than happy, I replied. I'm at peace. For the first time, I'm at peace. A year after Christmas, Scarlett asked me to meet her. Coffee in Portland. I was visiting my parents. She looked different. No dramatic makeup, simple hair, normal clothes. She looked smaller, but also more real. "Thanks for coming," she said when I sat down. "How are you?" "Better," she smiled, genuinely. "Not cured, but better. Harper, I started working. A real job. At a bookstore. It's not glamorous, but it's real." "That's great, Scarlett. And I wanted to thank you." She held my hand. "For closing the curtain. For forcing me off the stage. It saved my life." "What do you mean?" "Because I was killing myself," she said simply. "The constant performance was killing me. I couldn't sleep thinking about the next drama to create. I had no real friends because everyone was just an audience. I had no real life because everything was a show." "You look lighter," I observed. "I am," she agreed. "Without needing constant spotlights. It's liberating. Scary, but liberating. Healing is not the absence of symptoms. It's learning to live with them, recognizing impulses and choosing differently." Scarlett was not cured, but she was choosing. And choice is the beginning of everything. We talked for hours about therapy, about learning to be real, about how difficult it is to unlearn decades of performance. "Are you and Ethan happy?" she asked. "Very," I smiled. "Good." And she meant it. "You deserve it. And Harper, I'm so sorry. For Daniel, for years of stealing your moments, for being the worst sister possible." "You weren't the worst," I said gently. "You were sick. There's a difference." "Even so," she squeezed my hand. "Thank you for not giving up completely." 2 years after that Christmas, Ethan proposed to me. Nothing dramatic, just us, walking through Prospect Park in Brooklyn, him suddenly stopping. "I love you," he said, kneeling. "Not because of some performance or destiny, but because you are real, because you see me. Will you marry me?" "Yes," I said, laughing and crying. "Yes, absolutely yes." The wedding was small, Central Park, just close friends and immediate family. Scarlett was there, not as a bridesmaid, but as a guest, as a sister who had done the work to deserve to be present. She didn't create drama, didn't steal the moment. She just was, happy for me, genuinely. "You look beautiful," she said as I got ready. "Truly, Harper, radiant." "Thank you," I smiled, "for being here, for being real." "I'm trying," she said, "every day." When I walked down the aisle, when I saw Ethan waiting, when we said our vows, I noticed something. Roses. My bouquet was made of roses. Not gardenias, as Scarlett had suggested. Not orchids, as my mom wanted. Roses. My choice. My symbol. And this time, no one let them die. Closing the curtain on someone's show is not cruelty. It's self-preservation. It's refusing to be a supporting character in someone else's life. It's choosing reality over performance, even when performance is more comfortable for everyone around. Years later, when people ask if I regret how I exposed Scarlett, the answer is always the same. No, because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is refuse to participate in illusions. It's telling the truth, even when it hurts. It's closing the curtain and forcing a person to exist off stage. Scarlett needed it. My family needed it. And I needed it. And in the end, we are all better for it. More real, more honest, more alive. The roses from my bouquet were pressed and framed, hung in our living room. A reminder that this time, my moments didn't die. This time, they bloomed. This story teaches us that not all drama is love, that constant performance is not sensitivity, it's narcissism, that families can be an unwitting audience for one-person shows. But it also teaches that change is possible, that closing the curtain is not cruelty, it's a necessity, that sometimes the most loving act is to refuse to participate in the drama. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. Leave in the comments, have you ever had someone turn your life into their stage? Remember, you deserve to live a real life, not be a supporting character in someone else's show. And you? What do you value more? Drama that seems like love, or quiet love that is real?